transition pictures for Jesus. A few years ago, I lived for a very short while in a monastery in Italy. The reason I was there was as part of my research for my masterpiece book. And what I discovered when I was researching Masterpiece was how Christianity came about. Jesus, being a Jew, was the subject of intense debate at the time, whether he was just a really switched on guy, the Son of Man, or was he the Son of God and the Messiah? Was he Jesus the man or Jesus Christ? Jesus of Christ consciousness. And such was the division between the two that they split. One lot of Jews went off and became what's known as the followers of the way, and the regular Jews, stayed and followed their faith. They stayed with Judaism. It took 300 or 400 years for Christianity to become a religion, which Jesus didn't intend. But it was interesting how from there you had the Jews who are still waiting for the Messiah, convinced that Jesus wasn't it, and Christians who know, because it's the truth on the way, that Jesus was divine and the Son of God. And that actually was the cause of so much violence and bloodshed and discord over centuries. When I was in Italy, I went to see the Last Supper mural in the convent in Milan. And while I was there, I met a guy who'd researched this and who said that, well, maybe Jesus didn't die on the cross. He came very close, but he was given an herbal sedative that numbed the worst of the pain. And then at the last minute, removed from the cross, taken to a cave to recuperate for 2 or 3 days, and then put on a mule and escorted away by his followers. Maybe as far as India. That would mean that the Christian narrative of the resurrection actually turns out to be not true, which would undermine the view that he was divine. When I went into the energy as best I could, there was this really strange, tall, stone archway. And it was simply standing there on its own. It seemed to have no purpose. But about 4/5 of the way up, in between the pillars of the archway, there was a light, really piercing light, the kind that leaves marks on your retinas, if you look at it. It's like looking at the sun, actually, which you would never do. So I went down to take a closer look, but without really looking at this light. And once again, there was a tunnel, but it was more like a chimney, actually. It had steps in it. And as I watched, because these are transition pictures, things have to happen. There is a movement towards the end. This blinding, literally blinding light moved away from the archway and went up the stairs into this tunnel chimney thing. And it was so like the slow burn of a fuse on explosives. You know those kind of things where they psss, and it goes along the wire? It was like that. And as it went up the steps, I was able to walk with it for a while. This passageway became really, really steep. Stairs ended. There was no climbing it. Went up, and I stood here and watched it up there, and there was a curve. And this fuse, this fizzing, blinding light, went up the chimney, and around the bend at the top. As I was doing this, a pain, I know this is a repeat of the Buddha thing, and I am not making this up, I swear. A pain appeared here on my head, and another one here. You know, you've had headaches there before now, but they weren't connected. They were just like two separate pains. Then I got a pain above my eye here, which was interesting. Quite a sharp, needly type pain. Somebody was sticking a needle in my eyeball. And there was a sense that if I were able to go any further, not that I felt that I could, that if I went any further, I would be blinded, that I would lose my sight. Such was the intensity of the light and the fizzing fuse of light that was going into it. And that's where it had to end. I felt that what this said was that this was Jesus Christ we were talking about. And that dispute from 2,000 years ago between the regular Jews who were saying he was the Son of Man and the followers of the way, the followers of Jesus who was claiming he was divine, that matter is resolved at this point. I mean, I know he was like a regular guy in some kind of ways, and he was moody and intense and so on, but there's something there. Definitely. It was intense. Okay, that's it. I'm a little bit fazed by that even now, actually. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you would, like, share, that would help too. Or follow me on Twitter at Cash Peters. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.